There's a voice in your head that says, I'll do it tomorrow. You've heard it 1,000 times before. Soft, comforting, almost reasonable. But let me tell you something. That voice is a liar. Tomorrow is the most seductive illusion the human mind ever created. You say, I'll start when I'm ready. But the truth is, you'll never be ready. You'll wait for the perfect time, the perfect feeling, the perfect plan, and you'll die waiting. Because the perfect time doesn't exist. There's only now, right now, this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Every time you delay, you weaken your own power. Every later steals a piece of your future. Every not today becomes a habit. A slow, invisible poison that kills your potential one drop at a time. When you were 10, you dreamed of the things you couldn't have. When you were 20, you thought you had time to chase them. At 30, you said, maybe next year. And at 40, you realized the world doesn't wait. Time doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care about your excuses. It moves, cold, relentless, with or without you. So here's the truth. If you don't act now, you may never act at all. We all fall into the trap of someday. Someday I'll get fit. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll fix my life. But someday is a graveyard where dreams go to die. You think you're playing it safe by waiting, but you're not. You're bleeding time, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. People say, I'm too busy. But you're not too busy, you're just afraid. Afraid to fail, afraid to change, afraid to be seen starting small. You'd rather stay comfortable in the known hell than take a single step toward the unknown heaven. But ask yourself this, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What would you chase if you knew you couldn't fail? Because fear disguises itself as logic. It whispers, not yet. Wait until you're ready. And you nod. You say, yeah, maybe next week. But deep down, you know, that's not logic. That's fear wearing a suit. The great monk Shinran once said, I'm 9 years old. I may not have the same mind tomorrow. And you, master, you may not even live to see tomorrow, so do it today. Even a child understood the truth we adults forget. Tomorrow is not promised. You can plan your future all you want, but you only live inside a single moment. This one. And if you waste this one, you're gambling with the only currency that truly matters, time. Because one day you'll wake up and realize that the things you didn't do have turned into the things you can never do. Here is something you need to understand. Action is not a feeling. You don't act because you feel ready. You feel ready because you act. You think successful people wait for motivation? No. They move first. They act while scared. They show up when it hurts. They start before the plan is clear. Because false motivation is better than no motivation. Because the act of doing builds the very fire you thought you needed before starting. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. The growth you crave hides behind the thing you don't want to face. So ask yourself, what are you avoiding today? That one email you should send? That gym you keep postponing? That dream you swore you'd chase when life was less busy? You already know what it is. So stop pretending. Stop waiting for the universe to give you a sign. This is your sign. Jack Ma once said the same thing. Alibaba was built out of immediacy. Not a perfect plan, not a 10-year strategy, but by acting now. Every success story you admire was written by people who moved when others hesitated. They didn't know it would work. They just refused to sit still. They knew that hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will, because failure at least teaches. Hesitation teaches nothing. It only numbs. If you want to be great, if you want to build a life you're proud of, then act. Not next month. Not when you're comfortable. Not when people believe in you. Now. Because this very second will never come back again. Every breath you take is borrowed time. And one day the debt will be collected. So stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Stop lying to yourself with someday. You've already waited long enough. You've already wasted enough days pretending there's more time. There is no later. There's only now, ne jour or never. Because one day you will look back and say, "I could have been great." Don't let that be your story. Let today be the day you change everything. Not next year. Not next week. Not tomorrow. Now. You did it. You started. Maybe you took the first step. Maybe you wrote the first line, made the first call, lifted the first weight. That's the moment most people never reach. So respect yourself for that. But now comes the part no one talks about. How to keep going when the excitement fades. Because it will fade. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. And if you don't learn to feed that fire, it dies. When you begin something new, the world feels alive. You're full of energy, purpose, and clarity. Then life hits you, hard. The world doesn't care that you're trying to change. Bills still need to be paid. People still doubt you. Your body still gets tired. Your mind still whispers, "You can rest today." But that's the exact moment when champions are made. Not when everything feels good, but when everything hurts and you keep going anyway. Because discipline isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It's not fireworks or applause. Discipline is quiet, patient, repetitive work. The unsexy grind that builds extraordinary results. You see, procrastination doesn't disappear the moment you start acting. It evolves. It becomes subtle. It tells you, "You've worked hard enough for today." It whispers, "You deserve a break." But deep down, you know the truth. Your dreams don't care about how you feel. They only respond to what you do. So how do you keep going? How do you stay consistent when motivation dies? You build systems, not feelings. You create habits, not hype. Because habits survive the storm that kills motivation. Think about it. Every morning, you have two voices in your head. One says, "We stay in bed." The other says, "Yeah, get up, let's go." And the one you feed is the one that wins. That's discipline. The daily decision to feed the right voice. It's not about fighting giant battles every day. It's about showing up for small ones again and again. Because small victories compound. Every "I'll do it anyway" becomes another brick in the wall of your new identity. People think greatness is built in big moments. It's not. It's built in the invisible hours. When no one's watching, when it's raining, when it's boring, when you're tired but still show up. That's where transformation happens. Remember this. Discipline is freedom. It's not a prison, it's a path. It's what allows you to control your life instead of being controlled by it. Because without discipline, your emotions own you. You eat when you're sad. You quit when you're scared. You scroll when you're bored. But with discipline, you own yourself. You choose, you decide, you lead. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent enough to make progress every single day. You might ask, "But what if I fail?" You will fail. That's not a question. That's a promise. You'll fall. You'll make mistakes. You'll mess up. But the difference between winners and losers isn't who falls, it's who gets back up. Every time you rise after failure, you build a new version of yourself. Stronger, smarter, tougher. That's what discipline gives you. Resilience. The power to stand up when everything inside you screams to quit. Because one day you'll look back and realize the pain didn't destroy you. It built you. When you feel tired, remember this. The moment you want to quit is the exact moment your future self is watching you the most. Imagine that person, the best version of you. Strong, focused, disciplined. They're waiting at the finish line. They're whispering, "Don't stop now. I need you to become me." Every day you say, "Not today," you push that version of yourself further away. Every day you show up, you bring them closer. That's the game. That's the battle. Not against the world, against the weaker version of yourself. Understand this. Discipline is not a punishment. It's an act of self-respect. It's saying, "I'm worth the effort." You don't brush your teeth because it's exciting. You do it because it's necessary. Treat your dreams the same way. Don't wait for motivation. Build structure. Wake up early. Write your plan. Execute it. Don't negotiate with your feelings. Negotiate with your results. Because every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you're saying, "My goals can wait." But success doesn't wait. It rewards those who act when others hesitate. So when life hits you with excuses, when your mind says you're too tired, when your heart says you can't do it, remember, you've survived worse. You've carried pain, heartbreak, failure, and you're still here. You're not broken. You're being built. The struggle you face right now is not a punishment. It's preparation. You're being prepared for something bigger, stronger, more powerful than you imagine, but only if you keep going. So take the next step, no matter how small, because action creates clarity, and clarity creates power. Repeat after me. I don't wait for the right moment. I create it. I don't chase motivation. I build discipline. I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. That's the mindset that changes lives. That's how you turn now into forever. You've already done the hardest part, starting. Now do the most important part, staying. Because the people who win in life are not the ones who begin fast. They're the ones who refuse to stop. So keep going, keep showing up, keep building. You've got one choice every single day. Do it now or never. One day, all of this will be over. The noise, the chaos, the pressure, the dreams. One day the curtain will close on your story, and the only question that will matter is, did you live or did you wait? Most people die at 25, but aren't buried until 75. They stop dreaming, they stop growing, they let comfort become their coffin. They tell themselves, someday I'll change, but someday never comes. You're not here to exist. You're here to evolve, to build, to love, to fail, to rise, to squeeze every ounce of life from every second you're given. Because time is not infinite. And the people who understand that are the ones who live differently. They live with urgency. They live with fire. They live like it's now or never. Look around. Everyone wants a result, but almost no one wants the responsibility that comes with it. They want success without the struggle, growth without the grind, peace without pain. But life doesn't work that way. You can't cheat the process. You can't skip the suffering. You can't harvest what you never planted. If you want to build something meaningful, a body, a business, a legacy, you have to earn it. And earning it means paying the price every single day. Not once. Not when it's easy. Every single day. That's how legends are made. Not through talk, not through talent, through relentless repetition, through doing what others avoid. And let me tell you this, Berstade Manlil The pain you feel from discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Regret is silent, it's heavy, it follows you everywhere. It whispers, you could have been more. You had your chance. You waited, and it never came back. When you live with discipline, you suffer once in the moment. When you live with regret, you suffer forever. So which one are you willing to live with? Imagine this. You're 80 years old, sitting alone with your memories. Your hands are old, your body's weak, but your mind is alive, replaying the story of your life. What kind of story will it be? Will it be a story of hesitation, of what ifs, of almosts? Or will it be a story of courage or thoughts or of someone who dared to act when others froze? Because no one remembers the person who thought about doing something. They remember the one who did it, the one who tried, the one who failed, the one who kept coming back. That's the story worth telling. That's the life worth living. Here's the truth most people never realize until it's too late. Success isn't about money. It's not about fame or followers or applause. It's about knowing you didn't waste the gift of time. It's about waking up every day and saying, I'm not going to sleepwalk through my life. It's about doing the hard thing now so your future self can live free. And freedom, real freedom, comes from responsibility. When you take ownership of your actions, you take ownership of your destiny. That's what do it now or never really means. It's not about rushing. It's about respecting the moment, because this moment is your entire life in miniature, a reflection of who you are and who you're becoming. When people tell you, slow down, you've got time, don't listen. Time is the most valuable thing you will ever own. And you're spending it every second, whether you like it or not. You can't save time. You can only use it. And how you use it defines everything. Use it to build, use it to heal, use it to love, use it to grow. But don't you dare waste it waiting for the right time, because there is no right time. There's only right now. Every dream has an expiration date. Not because the dream dies, but because you do. So while you're here, breathe deeper, work harder, love louder, move faster. Don't let another sunrise find you in the same place as yesterday. Don't let another night fall without you taking one more step toward your future. Because this life, this one right here, is not a rehearsal. There are no reruns, no second takes. You get one shot, one chance, one now. So say it out loud. I will not wait. I will not waste. I will not settle. I will live with urgency. I will live with courage. I will live with discipline. I will live with purpose. Because the time is not tomorrow. The time is not next week. The time is not when it's easy. The time is now. Every second you hesitate, life moves on without you. So move with it, run with it, rise with it, and when the world asks who you are, you look it dead in the eye and say, I'm the one who did it. Not later, not someday, not when it was safe, but when it mattered most. Because that's what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the weak from the warriors, the ones who wait from the ones who win. And you're not here to wait. You're here to win. You're here to live. You're here to do it now or never.